friends, great to connect with all of you with yet another interesting story. This particular story is very, very close to my heart because every time when my chips are down, I always recall this particular story and then I bounce back with so much of positive, so much of will, and then so much of action to really bounce back. So this is a very interesting story. I know all of you are very curious to know about the story. This is a story about this very, very famous restaurant called KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. My dear friends, the story about this particular brand is in the Harvard Business School as a case study, and the students used to study for months together. This is a story about a gentleman called Colonel Sanders. He started this outlet at the age of 67. He was in the defense in the US Army, and he was serving for some time, and then he got retired. And then with whatever little money that he had, some savings and a little bit of borrowing money, he wanted to establish a restaurant. So he established restaurants in between Canada and the US on the highway. After a few months, this particular restaurant has to totally be demolished because of the highway project. And then because of that particular thing that he was actually going through real tough times. So what Colonel Sanders did, he had this very interesting idea about his mother taught him the recipe in terms of how to make this wonderful chicken. So with that particular recipe, with nothing else in his hand, all the bank paid up, everything done, he was left with only $1,000 in his hand and a car, 2 suit length, and he was actually going in restaurant after restaurant after restaurant to sell this idea. So he had this idea of giving the recipe, so everybody wants to know the recipe and then send them off, but he was not very keen. So he was always trying to go with some samples that he makes it, give it to the particular restaurant for a tie-up, and then whatever left out with the sample that he eats, and then subsequently he keeps on going this and doing it periodically. He used to sleep in the car, he used to change dresses on some of the highway places, and then subsequently he was struggling and going one after the other. My dear friends, at the age of 67, it took almost a year and a half to get the first order. By the time he was getting the first order, it was 1009th restaurant. They said, yes, I like your concept, let's work. And I believe that this was not happening in the entire United States of America. He had to cross border, and then the first restaurant said yes, somewhere near Canada and the US border. So what is the story about this, my dear friend? At the age of 67, I don't know whether you and I will be able to really stand up and walk, but this gentleman had this perseverance, struggle, and keep moving and knocking door one after the other because he had faith in that particular recipe, and then he had this perseverance to go forward, and then he did that particular thing, and he was able to really successful. Many a times in our life, we always say that I've tried many a times. Tony Robbins, the greatest motivator, he always tells, we always tell that we have done 1,000 times, I've tried 1,000 times, but have we really tried 1,000 times? This is the question Tony Robbins asks us. So my dear friends, my question to all of you is that, have you really tried enough and more? If not, ask this question and just remember Colonel Sanders, you will be able to really bounce back like the way that I do. All the very best. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you again.